Welcome back, and joining us on the show now is Peter McGuire. He's CEO at Exim Australia. Peter, hi. Another new day and another new all-time high for gold prices at $26.35 an ounce now. Where do you see prices going forward from here?
I've got to laugh because it just seems onward and upward. We've been following this for a long time together, and at the start of the year, you know, you're running at that just over 2. This time last year at 1,800, and here you are at 26.30, 26.50. I mean, it's just got so much momentum. You've got to say, is 27 achievable by the end of the month? I think it probably is. You know, you've got 6 days to go, and it just seems to have tremendous momentum at the moment, and that may be coupled with what happened in China. So I think it's onward and upward, and yeah, 3,000 is probably the target by end of year. Everyone's got their hands saying that, so it's pretty hard to go against the grain, Manisha.
I know those are some numbers, and we continue to look at newer highs coming for gold. You talked about China, Peter, and well, yes, China has promised a lot in coming few days. They haven't given a timeline, but then they've talked about housing markets. We've seen reverse repo for 7 days and 14 days also already being worked upon. What's your sense on how much, where, when China would do? We have, of course, seen the metal prices already react to this.
Exactly. I mean, you know, when you look at the likes of tin, aluminium, nickel, you know, of course, copper, they've all had a nice rally to the upside, and they're fairly strong at the moment when you're thinking where they have been. And, you know, that move to the upside, you've got, you know, the best part of 95.50 for copper. As far as a timeline, Manisha, are they a couple of things? Is it going to stimulate, and it was a pretty aggressive move as far as the interpretation from the property sector. Secondly, it's got to be, you know, you've got to look at a fiscal side as well. Thirdly, it is a fairly big bazooka. And it's from a timeline, when is it going to be introduced? I'm sure it'll be, but they've got to get it moving. And are they still going to hit their 5% target by end of year as far as growth numbers? You've got the CSI today was up the best part of 4.1, and it's still got probably a little bit of movement left. Shanghai's up 4.1 as well. CSI 300, 4.3%, and HS China Enterprise ENT up nearly 5%, Manisha. So it's been interpreted well from China's, equity market.
Oh, well, absolutely. The underlying commodity and the equity markets all surging up today with what China can do perhaps going forward. Peter, if you had to make a portfolio today, what would you buy in? Gold, as you said, is going to be quite bullish between silver and all of these base metal prices. Where do you see more momentum coming in?
You can't move away from silver and gold, Manisha. I think that's where the focus has got to be. You've got a US dollar index sitting just on 101. It's about 100.99 for US dollar index. And if they drop at 50 basis points on the 7th of November, then that's going to, I think, take a little bit more steam out of that US dollar. And that's what everyone's suggesting may happen, because there's no cut in October. So you've only got November and December, and they want to get 125 basis points. So somewhere you've got to have a 50. So if you hit another 50, that could really crush that US dollar further to as far as softness. And that's going to be, I think, the horsepower that's going to, another round of horsepower that's going to drive, I think, the attractiveness of gold. I just listened to previously what Jamie was saying, Jamie Dimon, and, you know, you're talking geopolitically as well as far as military and what's happening with US ships in the Red Sea and around that area. So there could be geopolitical tensions again going to drive that further forward, Manisha.
So within metals, then, Peter, whether it's going to be copper, aluminum, zinc, tin, iron ore, where are you putting your money in?
Well, iron ore's been a real flat one, and maybe that's going to bounce because it's probably been oversold, so you can't take your eyes off that. We've got to see how it washes across naturally to a $5.3 trillion property market, Manisha. So if iron ore's possibly a bounce, and, you know, we're going to see 10,000 for copper. You're at $450 away. It seems to have, again, you know, aggressive momentum to the upside. So this could be just the I suppose, the stimulus required to really kickstart some of those metals along. I think, you know, one in, all in. It's pretty hard to go against, you know, you can't be too, project management around this and just try and pick one or two. I think that's going to, you know, the rising tide's going to lift all boats.
Oh, well, absolutely. If China comes up with what it's promising, then it's all money in for metals. We get that point there, Peter. Thank you, as always, for joining in and talking all things that is metals. But with that, it's a wrap on Halftime Report. Business Crunch will take all the action ahead.